A broke mechanic picks up a mysterious hitchhiker, not knowing she's running from something far more dangerous than money. Wait, please. Marcus Stone froze, his calloused hand gripping the rusted door handle of his battered pickup truck. The voice cut through the desert wind like a blade, desperate and raw. A young woman stumbled across the empty truck stop parking lot, her boots kicking up dust clouds with each unsteady step. Dark hair whipped around her face, jeans torn at both knees, a faded leather jacket that had seen better years. But it was her eyes that stopped him cold. Wild, terrified, like someone being hunted. "I need a ride," she gasped, skidding to a halt just feet away. Anywhere but here. Marcus studied her carefully. The day had already been a disaster. 3 customers who couldn't pay, an empty wallet, and a gas tank running on fumes. The last thing he needed was... "You in trouble?" he asked, his voice gravelly from years of cigarettes he'd finally quit. "No," she said too quickly. "Then softer, maybe." I can't remember." Something about the way she said it made his chest tighten. Not lying exactly, but lost. Genuinely, desperately lost. "Name?" "Elena," she whispered, wrapping her arms around herself. "Elena Cross." Marcus glanced at the empty highway, stretching endlessly in both directions. Nothing but heat waves and broken dreams as far as the eye could see. Before we continue with today's story, if you're enjoying what you've heard so far, please hit that subscribe button. Every new subscriber helps me keep sharing these inspiring tales that touch your day. Thank you for your support. Against every instinct screaming at him to walk away. "Get in." Elena didn't hesitate. She yanked open the passenger door and collapsed into the cracked vinyl seat, slamming it shut behind her like she was sealing out demons. The truck coughed to life, engine protesting every mile it had endured. They pulled onto the scorching asphalt without another word. For the first hour, silence filled the cab like smoke. Elena stared out the window, fingers twisted in her lap, jumping at every shadow that flickered past. "Where you headed?" Marcus finally asked. "Away," she said simply. "Just away from here. That's not a destination." She turned to face him then, those strange, haunted eyes searching his face. "Do you ever feel like pieces of yourself are missing? Like someone reached inside your head and stole parts of who you are?" Marcus frowned. What kind of question was that? "Can't say I have." Elena nodded slowly, as if his answer confirmed something terrible. "I woke up 3 days ago in a motel room I'd never seen before, with money I don't remember earning, and a name that doesn't feel like mine." The truck hit a pothole, jolting them both. Marcus kept his eyes on the road, but his mind was racing. "Memory problems?" he asked carefully. "Something like that." Her voice was barely a whisper. "But I remember enough to know I need to run." Miles dissolved under their wheels. Elena dozed fitfully, murmuring fragments of words that sounded like code, numbers, names he didn't recognize. When she woke, the sun was setting behind them, painting the desert in shades of blood and gold. "How long was I out?" "Couple hours." "You talk in your sleep." "Elena, Stefanid." "What did I say?" Nothing that made sense. A lot of numbers. Something about Prometheus. The color drained from her face so fast Marcus thought she might faint. "Pull over," she whispered. "What?" "Pull over." Marcus yanked the wheel, tires squealing as they skidded onto the shoulder in a cloud of dust and gravel. Elena was already reaching for the door handle. "I have to go. Right now." This was a mistake. "Hold on." Marcus grabbed her wrist gently, but firmly. "What's Prometheus?" Elena's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know, but every time I hear that word, I see fire, screaming, and a man in a white coat telling me to forget." A chill ran down Marcus's spine despite the desert heat. "Forget what?" "Everything." She was shaking now. "They made me forget everything, Marcus. But it's coming back in pieces. And when it does..." She pulled up her sleeve, revealing a small scar on her forearm. But it wasn't random. It was precise, surgical, like something had been implanted. Or removed. "What the hell is that?" "I think," Elena said, her voice breaking. "I think I used to be someone very different. Someone dangerous." They found an abandoned gas station as darkness fell. Boarded windows, rusted pumps, tumbleweeds piled against the walls like nature's graveyard. Marcus built a small fire in a metal drum while Elena sat on a concrete ledge, staring at her hands as if they belonged to a stranger. "Tell me what you remember," he said quietly. Flashes. A laboratory. White walls. Computers everywhere. She closed her eyes. And pain. So much pain every time I tried to remember who I was. Sounds like some kind of facility. More than that. Elena's voice was gaining strength. I think I was a scientist, working on something called Project Prometheus. Something they wanted me to forget. Marcus poked at the fire, sparks dancing into the star-filled sky. What kind of science? Memory manipulation. Neural restructuring. The words came out like she was reading from a textbook she'd forgotten she knew. Ways to erase traumatic experiences. Or, she trailed off, face going pale again. Or what? Or to steal memories entirely. Take someone's knowledge, their skills, their entire identity, and transfer it to someone else. The fire crackled between them. Marcus felt like he'd stepped into a nightmare. "You're saying someone stole your memories?" "I'm saying I helped create the technology that makes it possible." And then, Elena looked up at him, tears streaming down her face. "I think I tried to destroy it. That's why they erased me." At dawn, everything changed. Marcus woke to the sound of engines. Black SUVs emerging from the heat shimmer like mechanical mirages, surrounding their makeshift camp. Men in dark suits stepped out, moving with military precision. One of them, tall, silver-haired, wearing glasses that reflected the morning light, approached slowly. "Dr. Elena Vasquez," he said in a voice like ice. "You've led us quite a chase." Elena was already on her feet, backing toward the truck. "My name is Elena Cross." The man smiled without warmth. "The identity we gave you, yes. But you're remembering now, aren't you? The real you is fighting to surface." "Stay back," Marcus warned, stepping between them. "Mr. Stone." The man turned those cold eyes on him. "You have no idea what you've gotten yourself involved with." "Then enlighten me." "The woman you've been harboring is Dr. Elena Vasquez, former head researcher on the most classified project in government history. She stole technology worth billions and tried to expose our work." "What work?" Marcus demanded. "Creating the perfect soldier, perfect spy, perfect assassin." The man's smile widened. "Take a criminal's body, erase their mind, and implant the memories and skills of our best operatives. Instant army, zero training time." Marcus's blood ran cold. "You're talking about stealing people's souls. We're talking about national security." Elena stepped forward, her voice stronger now. "I remember, Hartwell. I remember what you did to those prisoners. How you tested on unwilling subjects." Dr. Hartwell nodded approvingly. "The memories are returning." "Good. It will make the extraction process much cleaner." "Extraction? Your girlfriend isn't just a rogue scientist, Mr. Stone. She's our prototype, the first successful memory transfer. Her brain contains the combat skills of 12 elite operatives, the technical knowledge of our best engineers, and enough classified information to topple governments." Elena's hands were shaking, but her eyes blazed with returning fire. "That's why you can't just kill me. You need what's in my head." "Precisely. And now that you've remembered who you are," Hartwell gestured to his men, "we can finally complete the project." The capture went smoothly. Too smoothly. Elena didn't fight as they zip-tied her hands. Didn't resist as they loaded her into the lead SUV. She just caught Marcus's eyes through the window and mouthed a single word. "Run." But Marcus had never been good at running from fights. As the convoy pulled away, he noticed something they'd missed. Elena's torn jacket, snagged on a piece of rusted metal, and tucked inside the pocket, a small device that looked like a modified smartphone. The screen flickered to life at his touch, displaying a single message. "If you're reading this, they have me. The real weapon isn't in my memories, it's in the machine. GPS coordinates follow. Destroy it, or they'll steal the minds of thousands." The coordinates led to a facility buried deep in the Nevada desert. Marcus arrived as the sun set, painting the installation in shades of rust and shadow. Getting inside should have been impossible, but Elena had planned for this. The device in her jacket wasn't just a GPS. It was a master key, programmed with override codes for every lock in the facility. Marcus moved through sterile corridors like a ghost, following signs toward the main laboratory. He could hear voices echoing from the central chamber, beginning memory extraction in 30 seconds. All neural pathways mapped and ready for transfer. Subject is conscious and cooperative. Marcus burst through the doors to find Elena strapped to a surgical table, electrodes attached to her skull. Surrounding her, banks of computers hummed with malevolent purpose. Dr. Hartwell looked up in mild surprise. "Mr. Stone, how persistent of you. Let her go." "I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, Dr. Vasquez has served her purpose. Her memories will live on in much more suitable hosts." On the screens around the room, Marcus could see brain scans, neural maps, the digital architecture of a human mind being dissected piece by piece. "You're not just stealing her memories," he realized. "You're copying them to create an entire army of operatives with her knowledge and skills. Each one completely loyal, completely controllable." Elena's eyes found his across the room. Even strapped down, even facing obliteration, she smiled. "Marcus," she whispered. "The red button on the central console. Press it." Dr. Hartwell spun around. "Stop him." But Marcus was already moving, diving across the lab as security guards poured through the doors. Bullets shattered computer screens and sparked off metal surfaces. His hand slammed down on the red emergency stop. Every machine in the facility died at once. But more than that, as the screens went dark, Marcus heard a sound he'd never forget. Thousands of other voices crying out in relief as stolen memories flooded back to their rightful owners. Elena hadn't just been hiding from them. She'd been planning to free everyone they'd ever victimized. In the chaos that followed, Marcus cut Elena free and they ran. Behind them, the facility burned as backup power systems overloaded and years of illegal research went up in flames. They didn't stop running until they reached the coast. 3 months later, Marcus opened his auto shop in a small town where nobody asked questions about the past. Elena worked alongside him, her brilliant mind now focused on fixing engines instead of minds. Sometimes, late at night, she would stare at the stars and remember flashes of who she used to be. A scientist, a prisoner, a weapon. But mostly, she remembered who she chose to become. "Any regrets?" Marcus asked one evening as they watched the sunset paint the ocean in shades of gold. Elena took his grease-stained hand in hers and smiled. "Only that it took losing my memories to find out who I really was." They had saved each other in ways that had nothing to do with running or hiding. Sometimes the most beautiful freedom comes from choosing to forget the past and remembering how to be human again. In a world where identity can be stolen and memories can be erased, Elena and Marcus discovered that the most powerful force isn't technology or science. It's the choice to remain true to who you are, no matter what they try to take from you. What would you do if someone tried to steal your memories? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that explore the deepest mysteries of the human spirit.